What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here for 1077 The Bone, and I'm excited that WWE is coming back to the Bay Area. Friday Night SmackDown will be at the SAP Center in San Jose this Friday, October 17th, and tickets are on sale now over Ticketmaster.com. Also, WrestleMania 42 is returning to Legion Stadium in Las Vegas for 2 nights once again, Saturday, April 18th, and Sunday, April 19th. Combo tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com as well. And joining me to talk all about it is WWE Superstar and one half of the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, Alexa Bliss. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Super excited to be talking to you once again. We were talking off the air. You and I did a phone interview many years ago, so it's cool to get the video aspect of it now.
Catch back up.
Exactly. A lot to catch up on. So first off, I do want to say congratulations. Since you've been back with WWE, you're a mom now. Please just tell me, how's life being a full-time WWE superstar and also being a full-time mom?
Oh, it's the best. It's so nice. Hendrix loves going to the shows. She goes to majority of the shows with me. She has a full little setup backstage and she watches all the shows, and she's starting to associate the ring with me, and it's so fun. So there was one weekend where I wasn't able to bring her, and my husband sent me a video of them watching SmackDown, and the ring comes up and it's Cena in the ring, and she walks up to the TV and goes, "Mama, mama," and I was like, "It's John Cena," but right idea.
Right, exactly. So she knows the GOAT right there, John Cena. Actually, let me ask you about that too. John Cena, he's been on his big retirement tour right now. So, what's it like, having him when he does show up to his select appearance and stuff? What's his whole retirement run been going for you as a fellow coworker of his?
Yeah, it's great. And I love seeing the crowd's reaction every time he goes out there, especially when we were in the UK and he went. It was super incredible. It was super awesome. Anytime he's around, the crowd is electric, and it's a great way to start the show and kind of sets the bar for the tone for the rest of the show. And it's always such a good time.
Awesome. So also, as I mentioned earlier at the top of the show here, WrestleMania is returning to Las Vegas next year. Second year, back-to-back, third time overall in Las Vegas. I've been lucky to attend many WrestleManias, courtesy of WWE. Thank you to them. Couldn't make it this year. I hope to be back next year. But, I know you came back at the Royal Rumble. But from your experience, how was WWE WrestleMania in Las Vegas? For us in the Bay Area, I encourage everyone to get your tickets ASAP. We're not that far away. We're like an hour 15 flight from the Bay Area to Las Vegas. I encourage everyone, get your tickets. It really is a once in a lifetime opportunity. But from your perspective, how was WrestleMania in Las Vegas?
It was super cool. I loved having how they had events every single day leading up to WrestleMania. It was super cool. They had these parties at night. That was something new that they were doing. And it was just like at this huge party all week leading up to WrestleMania. And I loved the idea of having it in Vegas. The stadium is incredible. Hopefully I get to experience being on the show this coming year. Last year I wasn't on the show, but hopefully, fingers crossed, because I think that would be one venue that I would love to perform at again. I think it'd be so fun.
Absolutely. And I like to think, yes, that's going to happen because, as I said, you're one half of the current women's tag team champion with Charlotte Flair. A partnership that's started over this summer. You were kind of reaching out to her and like, we should work together. You guys won the tag titles at SummerSlam. Congrats. So I'm curious, whose idea was it to kind of match you two together, and how's that experience so far working with Charlotte Flair?
It's been so fun working with Charlotte. This was something that came about very kind of randomly. We were talking to creative, and I kind of like threw it out there. I was like, well, what about, they gave me like a list of names of people who were kind of like in this little bubble of needing storylines. And I was like, well, what about Charlotte? We have this long past. They said Charlotte's name, and I was like, yeah, we have a long past. I think it would be a fun dynamic to see what do these two people who don't normally get along with other people or have success with other people look like getting stuck together. And that's been super fun, and we've been having fun with it. At our entrances, that our little pushing, pulling, all the stuff, that's just us improving and just having fun with it, and it's been a lot of fun. And I was right, we would be successful because now we're tag team champions. And it's been great. And we get to see a different side of me, a different side of Charlotte, which I think is so fun, and see her kind of open up and have fun as a character, because we saw before just a character that was mainly going for a singles title, and then my character was never really one after joining Bray, was never really focused on any titles. So it's fun to see the mesh of the two come together as this kind of odd couple, and allies of convenience. And it's been a lot of fun, and I think that's what kind of resonates with the audience, is that we're naturally having fun, and I think it allows the audience to have fun with us.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with all that. It's really been fun seeing what you could bring out of Charlotte Flair, because you're right. I think some fans, hardcore WWE fans, say like we've only seen her in one aspect of her presentation on TV, but what you've been able to bring out to her, like almost like bring her down to earth a little bit, humanize her a little bit more. It's really been, but it's fun. This fun banter, you guys, little jabs against each other, and it's been fun and seeing this new side of her, and it's really been cool to see. Like I said, a whole new personality out of her, and she's a really fun person. So kudos to you. And then
she brings out a lot of fun in me too, because I've never really had a sister, but I imagine that if I did, it would be that kind of dynamic with Charlotte.
yeah, exactly. Well, listen, so over the last month, you guys wrapped up your feud with Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. And now we see looks like next up for you guys is the tag team of Sol Ruca and Zarya, aka Zaruka. Last week on SmackDown, they flat out challenge you to a match. Do you know hypothetically when that match is going to happen? Is that going to be this Friday in San Jose, or a future date at this point?
I would love for it to be in San Jose, because we haven't defended our titles in a minute. That's something that we can all kind of push for. I think that would be a great place to start with the Zaruka team, especially because they were very bold in their ask, and kind of like that gnat at the picnic, that just doesn't go away until you just give it what it wants. That's their approach, but you have to respect it, and they're a really talented team, and I think it would be a great match to have, especially in San Jose, especially because our California crowds are pretty rowdiest, and they're fun, and I think it'd be great.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out my boy Jacob Fatu from the Bay Area as well. I know he's going to be facing Drew McIntyre this Friday, so that's going to be awesome. But also, you guys had a match recently, NXT Homecoming, back at Full Sail University. You had your big win over Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame. Just for that night, it was amazing. Just a lot of the veteran WWE superstars who obviously grew up in the NXT system made appearances there. Just, for you guys, how was that whole experience back at Full Sail University? I think it was your first match on NXT in 9 years, they said. So how can sum it up for me?
It's pretty trippy. It was cool because the crowd was smaller because we didn't have the bleachers. The bleachers were actually at NXT. But it was super cool because it was such an intimate feel. But when we walked into Full Sail, it was like everything changed, but nothing changed. So it was really, it was a weird time warp. It almost felt like, but it was really cool because, to appreciate where you've gone, you have to go back to where it started. And for me, I remember right before our music hit, to interrupt Hunter and Sean in the ring, I remember that feeling of being on those same steps when I had my first match. And that day, it was Alicia Fox. And then we also filmed that day, me versus Charlotte. So it was cool to have that full circle moment of going out there with Charlotte when these were the same steps that I walked out for my first day of filming with Charlotte. So it was really cool.
Oh, that's so cool. And listen, NXT, for what it represents with WWE and what a lot of people love about that product, that brand. I'm just curious, what do you miss about working in NXT at that time? A lot of people just, for many years, a lot of the best wrestling was on NXT and a lot of great takeovers and all that stuff. So for you, like, what do you miss about being an NXT roster member?
I unfortunately never had a takeover match.
Yeah.
So this kind of felt like my takeover.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was fun, and I liked the intimate crowd, and it was fun to kind of be in that kind of setting again, because it's such a different type of crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's the intimate setting, and it was cool being able to almost connect with every single person in the audience on some level. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, that was my NXT takeover, and it was fun. And I loved coming back and having a match in that capacity, and it was fun to see the NXT talent and how talented they are, and to go against Izzy and Tatum was fun, and having a little moment with Tatum in the ring was really cool, because we have the same kind of vibe, and the doll moment, and it was really fun. And that was something that I remember when Natty used to come back and have matches with the NXT talent in NXT and Alicia Fox, and how excited we were about those moments. And it was cool. It was like a fun full circle moment.
That's really great to hear. You brought up earlier Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Obviously, your guys' partnership storyline, just one that a lot of people loved, and just a lot of good memories there. So I met Bray Wyatt once. I got to interview him once 10 years ago at Radio Row, WrestleMania, when he was out here. He was amazing to talk to, and he was just gave me a lot of great compliments that day. So I just love that bond we had that night. I can only imagine working with him for the period that you did. Like, now in retrospect, what did it mean for you to work with Bray Wyatt and just have like this really cool storyline that you guys had?
It was so fun. I always say it was the most fun I've ever had in my career, because it was such a fun challenge. Because when I first joined with Bray, I remember thinking, I don't want to be the one to mess this up, because he had such a cool thing going with the Firefly Funhouse and the Wyatts and the Wyatt family and the whole thing. And so for me, I was stepping into his world, and I wasn't going to be the one to bring it down. So I remember when I first started working with him, he gave me this whole, because he does deep dives on his characters, right? Yeah. Deep dives and all this research. And he was like, watch these documentaries, watch these scary movies, watch this, take notes on this. And it really made me appreciate the fact that it wasn't just doing research on your character. He created a whole world for his character. And that was something that I took with me is, you have to know your character inside and out. You have to know where they grew up. You have to know the world that they live in. You have to know what is reality to them, and not just what we see in front of us. And that was something that really opened my eyes character-wise. And he was a creative genius, and he saw the world of WWE in a different way than anyone else ever has. And he created this whole alternate universe within the WWE universe. And that was something that I found so fascinating.
Yeah.
His creativity. And he was, and anytime he would start to talk about creative, it was like you had to keep up, because his mind was just going. Yeah. And it was so cool to not only witness, but be a part of. And the fact that, we're continuing his story with the Wyatt Six, and we have the Horrors of the Wyatt Six house at the Universals. And I think it's so cool. And I just love that we're keeping, that WWE as a whole is just keeping his vision alive and keeping him alive in that. And, I think that he would be super happy with everything that we're doing to, keep it going.
Absolutely. So I got two quick questions for you. So, you mentioned scary movie. I have to ask, there's that great match you and Bianca Belair had a few years ago. And it was, it was a reenactment of the fight scene from Scary Movie. So I have to ask, whose idea was it? How this came to be on TV?
You didn't think anyone would notice.
Okay.
Honest. Start as a joke, first off.
Okay.
Because we were like, oh my gosh, this is like our characters. How funny is that? Yeah. And then it became, I love doing anything that's ridiculous in the ring. I had a match with Naomi where the whole story was I couldn't keep my shoes tied. Like, I love like things that are just fun and silly. And what turned into a joke turned into what was happening in the ring. And in our minds, only we were going to know. And not even 5 minutes later, I was scrolling on Twitter, and just the side by side, people are quick, man. People are quick. People know. Yeah.
That's great.
That was something we thought was going to be an inside joke, and did not happen that way.
No. Hey, listen, it was fun for us fans. So I do have to ask you one last thing. I know you got a busy day. Last weekend, I went to the big music festival here in Northern California in Sacramento, Aftershock. One of the bands I played was Bowling for Soup. Yeah. So I got to see them in person. They were incredible. So much fun. So for anyone who doesn't know, Bowling for Soup did a song about you. So I have to know, how did that happen? Like, I know you're a big fan, but yeah, how did they decide to write a song about you?
A big fan. They were one of my first concerts I ever went to at the Ohio State Fair. And I had like the crappiest videos of them on my Verizon flip phone. You know, when you like tried to zoom in back then and it just becomes pixelated. That was one of my most prized possessions. And then I saw them in concert the day before in the basement. It's a venue called The Basement in Columbus.
Yeah.
The day before I moved to Florida for NXT. So they were always like I love Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
I would get ready to them in school. Like I was doing my hair, listening to Bowling for Soup. And I did an interview for, I think it was 2K.
Okay.
They were talking about, I completely missed the cue on what they wanted us to talk about. They're like, you know, what's the music you like? Because we had a whole list of musicians on 2K, and I was like, I really like Bowling for Soup. And again, the internet being the internet, Jarrett saw it and he was like, oh wow, she's a fan. And his son was a WWE fan. He's a WWE fan. One of his first names that he ever went by was Jarrett Von Erich, because he was a big fan of the Von Erichs. And so it was a cool little moment. And we had connected that way over that internet clip. And he came to a show. I met his son, and he was awesome. Super sweet, super great. And we just kind of always stayed connected. He invited me to a couple shows. And then, because my favorite song was Girl All the Bad Guys Want, and he was like, hey, just randomly, he was like, hey, so can I get you in a voice note just saying, what's a two-way? Like from Girl All the Bad Guys Want. And I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, what's a two-way? You know? And it was right before Christmas. He had reached out and he goes, okay, so I was going to wait, but I'm really excited about it. Just so you know, we wrote this song about you and it's going to be super cool. And we'd love to have you in the music video. And it just became this snowball thing that was so fun. And I got to see them perform it, which was even cooler. I got to be in the music video. And then I got sent a clip of them performing it in the UK, and it was super cool because there was this concert venue, and like there's my picture up at the Soup show, and it was so cool. And you know, I love them dearly, and they're all just amazing, and still to this day some of my favorite music. And yeah, now it's kind of cool to have your favorite band have a song about you.
I know. I would die if Green Day, my favorite band, did a song about me in some capacity. I would flip. Cool. I know. I hope maybe one day they could like play you out to WrestleMania or something. Like
so that was something I was pitching.
Really?
Yeah, I pitched that a long time ago. And then COVID happened.
Well, hopefully we can do it again. Maybe at Las Vegas next year. I'm just throwing it out there. Hey, Jarrett.
Throwing it out there.
Bowling for Soup, you know, powers that be. Let's make it happen. Come on. Listen, Alexa, I know you got a busy day. I do appreciate you making the time today. So I encourage everyone, get your last minute tickets for Friday Night SmackDown this Friday at the SAP Center in San Jose, Ticketmaster.com. And while you're there on Ticketmaster, get your tickets for WrestleMania 42. That's going to be next April 18th and 19th, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. But also so much going on. Friday Night SmackDown's going to be there, the Hall of Fame, the Raw After Mania, NXT Stand and Deliver. Like there's so much going on. I love it. They got the Superstore, the WWE World, everything. It's so worth it. Make a vacation out of it. But Alexa, first off, thank you so much for everything you do, all the years of entertainment, and looking forward to seeing you back in the Bay Area.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.